Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, so today is the Father's Day, and I wish upon all the fathers to have a happy Father's Day. And at the same time, as children, we all are have our nourishment, our energy from our parents. And at the same time, we are so blessed to be human in this world and experience this life. You all experience this life because of your parents. And you have no idea how hard their life and how difficult were at that time. They gave all the facilities to you. So today we have a lot of this consumer product, machines, technology, medicine, or most of pharmaceutical product. We have a lot of things today. We cannot imagine even. But if you look 10, 20 years back, your parents didn't have this anything. So today, most of the children, it's kind of like a machine made. Why? Because mostly they follow the YouTube and they have friends on Facebook. And so they have this, and they always with the video games. And parents also so comfortable with that. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you have to remember your parents, you are handmade. By hand, they made you. So when it comes to the Father, especially, you have to remember like this earth, dependent from the sun, you are always have the protection, the energy, and the facilitated by your Father. And even though you accumulate all these material things around the world and put it to one place and tell your Father, okay, take this all. And now enough that whatever you have done to me, I pay for you. So like that, even you gather this all the material world, still you cannot compare it to. So whatever your Father gave to you. So then always remember that all the blood that you carry in your body came from your Father. That's why always each and every child get the name from the Father, because blood related to Father. Heartbeat you get from your mother, and the blood you get from your Father. And as we know nowadays, look, this all the immunity depend on the strength of the blood. So that your Father gave you the strength. So then every day you have to remember, it is just not only giving life. Behind this life, that they gave you the energy and they gave you their blueprint to you. And always you have to remember, when you have any success in your life, to remind your parents and appreciate, pay your gratitude. And at the same time, if there are any failures come to you, remind them. And you have to get motivate and courageous yourself and strengthen yourself, reminding your parents. Why? Because when the parents gave this life to you, they always has the wish, and they always had the hopes on you. One day, may my children will be success. One day, may this child will be happy. So they had that the wish on you, hopes on you. So then you have to remember every day. wherever you go, whatever you do in this conventional life, and you have some responsibilities. Why? If you suffer in any ways, whatever if you suffer, remember, maybe it will be difficult for you, but it's going to be more difficult for your parents if you suffer. Maybe even you don't care yourself, but it always your parents think about you. So then it is one way that you can give the peace to them, happiness to them, when you take care of yourself, your life, maintain your life in a good way. Why? Because then your parents, wherever they are, seeing you, and they will be happy. And at the same time, you have to remember that even in the spiritual world, Buddha is our father, and he guided us, and whatever he taught us, and same like that your father gave the life to you and take care of you and taught you what is right, what is wrong, and according to their capacity. So Buddha is our spiritual father, and he gave all the best for us. So then you no need to afraid for anything. So whatever the success and whatever the failure comes to you, and always you have to reflect on Buddha, and you have to get the example, not just praying and asking for the help. You have to get the example out of the strength and the courage, determination, how he overtook all the difficulties. And you also have that same courage, strength, capability. When you say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, so you promise yourself, determine yourself to follow that path. So then you get the example out of the Buddha. And the Buddha is one who had the great compassion. And he saw how these things happening. And sometimes as children, we don't listen that much. But when we get the lesson ourselves, we understand and how right he was. And the same like in the conventional life, sometimes our parents taught us many things. We don't care about it. But when you become a father, when you get old, you start to think about your parents and you reflect on their words and understanding and thinking yourself, and whatever the very simple things may be, they taught you how valuable it is. So in the spiritual life also the same. Sometimes very simple things, what the Buddha taught us in this samsaric journey, it will protect you from any kind of difficulties. And the Buddha is the one who respect to the parents to the highest level. And the Buddha is the one who gave the same respect and veneration to the parents, same like the Buddha. Many occasions. In many occasions, Buddha explained the value of parents and how you have to respect to the parents. So even that maybe you have no opportunity to find the physical Buddha. But still, what the Buddha said, if you take care of your parents, and it's same like you take care of the Buddha. If you respect to the parents and if you venerate your parents, it's same like you do it to the Buddha. See, what else? That is the highest appreciation that what the Buddha gave to the parents. And not only that, when he visited his hometown, and at that time, the Prince Siddhartha's son, Prince Rahula, used to live with the grandfather, King Suddhodana, who was the Prince Siddhartha's father. And then that day, then what happened? This Prince Rahula became a monk. And the King Suddhodana was so disappointed and went to the Buddha and had an argument and told the Buddha, you have no idea the love about a child in the parent's heart. And he blamed in many ways. And he told it's all over this body. And through the blood, through the muscles, through the bones, bone marrows, through all this body, this love regarding the son, it's everywhere. And then the King Suddhodana told, don't this anymore, without asking from any parents. So Buddha accepted that as paying respect to his father. And then he included one disciplinary code that to the community of the Sangha. If someone come to the community of Sangha, if he's not an elder, like 18 years, 20 years, 21 years old, elder, young boy, he always need the permission from parents. If parents don't agree, and he cannot become a monk. So, from it, because he did it to pay the respect to the father, and he understood, and at the same time, in the spiritual world, and he had the great compassion when it comes to your parents, remember. And sometimes you may think, oh, he didn't love me this much, he didn't do for this much, so like that you compare according to your mind. But when it comes to parents, and if you are a father, you know, when in the family, 2, 3 children, 5 children, sometimes in family, 6, 7, 10 children, and they don't have this kind of favor, they always do their best to each and everyone. So same like they did the best for you. And the Buddha the same. Buddha didn't have any favor to anybody. And he always did the best to each and everyone. And even he left the best for all of us to learn, practice ourselves, and gain. And so that he reached to the highest and attained to the Buddhahood. And he saw the path, each and anybody come to this community of the Buddha's dispensation. And that person can reach to that level of highest, gain the Buddhahood. So then remember yourself, in the conventional life, you always have to be a better than your parents. You know, always remember that. If you are a son, you always have to be the better than your father. That's in the conventional life. If you are a mother, you always have to be a better than your mother. But in the spiritual world, try to be same like the Buddha. At least try to gain the wisdom and reach to the highest level and attain to the Arahanta. So, and that way you fulfill your both journeys, your conventional life and at the same time your spiritual path. But sometimes as children, we don't listen that way. And it happened even in the during Buddha's time. There was Buddha and there was another monk. So they had a journey and go through a village. And then there was a junction. In that, so when that the Buddha came to that junction and Buddha stopped there. And it was kind of like a 4-5 roads go to different directions. So the Buddha stopped there. And there was a little tree. So under that tree, and he just rest a little bit. So then the monks, and out of that the group of monks, there was one monk came and told, "Oh, Bhante, oh, Venerable Sir, we should go this way. I know this road very well. I know where I'd go. We should go this way." And the Buddha said, "No, no, no, no. This is not the time to go this way." And this monk used to argue with the Buddha. And the Buddha said, "No, this is not the time to go this way, this road, to take this road. Just wait a little bit." And but this monk didn't give up his argument. He was arguing with the Buddha. Buddha said, "No, wait a little bit. Don't go this way. Maybe you know this road. You know where I'd go, but don't go. Just wait." And he said, "No, no, no, no. I want to go this way." And then what happened? This monk himself, even leaving the Buddha and other monks, start to go in that road. So then he just keep going. And what happened is, somewhere in the middle of that journey, there were gangsters and gathered, and he caught up to these gangsters, group of thieves, they all beat up this monk and look, is there any valuable things to take? Even break his begging bowl and took everything that whatever he had. Even his robe, they took. Now he don't even have a robe and a broken begging bowl, whole body, damn it. And he came back to Buddha. So when he came back, remember this, Buddha never mentioned the previous argument. That is one thing. Just imagine if somebody have argument with you and did something wrong, and if something happened and come back to you, what you tell mostly? I told you. See? I told you not to do this. See what happened to you. But the Buddha never told like that. And then the Buddha said something else. And what the Buddha said? The Buddha said, even though we know sometimes the surface level of the road, and according to necessary conditions and according to necessary environment, necessary places, things can change. So that is the recognizing that is the vipassana knowledge. So maybe you know from here to go to LA, from your place to go to this place or that place, you know how to go. But that knowing not going to bring the completion of your journey or your experience. It is a moment by moment you have to fulfill that each and every time. Maybe you went yesterday, but when you go tomorrow, that doesn't mean, oh, I did it yesterday, I can do it tomorrow. No, you always have to remember that tomorrow, whatever you do, It's a completely new situation. Even though it look like same, it's completely new situation. So then don't repeat your past imagination, past experience, comparison to this moment. And at the same time, if there's somebody with you, like your parents, see what the Buddha, and you have this all the sutras and the teachings. So you have to know and what you should do, what you should not do. So we already, there's nothing in this human world, there's nothing can add to our life to gain different wisdom, because already we all have the all the teachings. There's nothing to add. So the only thing is you have to have the faith. You have to have the conviction and the trust and 100% acceptance with what the Buddha said. That's it. And once you come to that point, and if there is something that, if there is any question come to you, any difficulties come to you, and if there is any unclarity, so it is okay to argue, question. But you have to have the faith. Otherwise, even there is not going to be an argument if you don't look for the truth. So then remember, in this spiritual path, and sometimes we look for the wisdom. We look for the wisdom. We like the liberation. We look for the transformation. We look for the nibbana. And it's like this. It's kind of like you stretching that you kind of like stretching your foot, putting the shoes on. It doesn't feel anything, but there is an action there. So same like that, ourselves, we look for the wisdom and the change or the liberation inside us, but with the self-centered mind, with our own self-experience. We don't allow to disturb to that self-experience. We protect it. In that protection, in that environment, we try to do things. If anybody head massage that ego, then mostly we like it. Oh, that is good. I like that. But you have to look yourself and see what you like. Who like it inside? Who is like it? From where that like came? Because when it comes to the real truth, when you see the real truth, when you slowly harmonize with the real truth, you get out of both good and bad. And you get out of from the darkness and the light. You get out of from the left and right. And you just become silence. You just experience it. And that's why recognizing the self, inquiring the self, investigating the self, observing the self is the most highest wisdom. But mostly what we do, concreting and developing the self and holding the self, we try to look around the world. And then what we see, we see the reflection of our own imagination or our own self. So when it comes to the wisdom, seeing yourself is the most important. And when it comes to that, and one time that the dimension, what you have to see, what you gain as the ultimate wisdom. So when it comes to that, recognizing the form or the rupa or the form as it is, and what is this form, how this arises, is one thing that is a part of the wisdom. So this all forms related to the food. So whatever the food you eat, whatever the food you gain as satisfaction, it nourishes you. That's why you have this form yourself. So if you change the food that you intake physically and mentally, emotional food and the physical food, if you change that both, what will happen? You will change yourself. Just imagine that this physical eye, how this physical eye depend? The food you eat. So if you don't eat like 4 or 5 days, what will happen? You start to see kind of like a blurred. You cannot see properly. You feel dizzy. And at the same time, when you die, there's a desire, or the whatever that the desire hold in your last thought. If that desire related to seeing or the experience, and that will help you to gain this eye. So one way, it's slowly nourishing this physical body, it's nourishing with the food, and at the same time, there is a psychological food. Our imagination, the feelings, the desires to see also nourish this eye. And so that is how this whole forms arise. So your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, depending from the food, that is the beginning point. So then in the spiritual path, when you develop the discipline, remember to get into discipline with the food. So that is something that you're going to slowly transform your deeper lifestyle. Once you change your food, then you're going to slowly change your life. And not only the physical food, and then slowly the psychological food. So once you slowly drop what you visualizing, dreaming, thinking, and that will slowly help you to change that what you experience. What you think, you become. So just then imagine in a certain level, you come to a point to slowly, little by little, completely change the way you think. What will happen? The way you become completely change. And not only that arising, now you seeing the arising of the form, and then another part of the wisdom, when you able to see the arising of the wisdom, that wisdom, not that having this wisdom, you cannot go into the next one. So when you have this wisdom, when you see how it arises, you gain another wisdom, how it disappears. And sometimes we don't know how it arises, and we try to see how it disappears. and then we have only the doubt. So there is a method, mechanism. In the beginning, if you are practiced from the beginning, that's why learn how it arises. And then that will help you to reverse the mechanism. It's like when you develop the reverse mechanism, first thing, so whatever the machine, you have to know how it functions. That understanding will help you to reverse that mechanism. If there is a machine, if you don't know how it functions, what is the outcome, how you can reverse that mechanism. So same thing, when you recognize how this form arises, that wisdom will show you the disappearance of the form. And now you have the both two kind of wisdom, arising of the form, disappearance of the form. And then that will help you to gain the knowledge why we clinging to this form. See, once you see how the form arises, because it's mainly related with the food, two kind of food, physical and psychological. So in the physically, that whatever the intake you take with your mouth, and the psychologically whatever you think. And that's why all this form arise. All these forms came out of the physical strength, and before it come to this world, it was in their mind as imagination. So then once you have it, you can see how it disappears, how it go away. And once you see these two things, then you gain another wisdom. And why you clinging to this? What is the reason when there is a form? Why we have the desire to go with it, or why we resist it? You can see that. You're going to gain that wisdom. And that is where you come to a complete, total understanding. This is nothing to do with this self. It is a result of cause and effect, causality. And say that even when there is good food, you're going to have the good eyesight. See that it depends, your eyesight depending from the food you take. And not only that, then according to the thoughts that you have, and again that whatever the desire or the whatever you're going to see, that also going to change. See, it depending from the cause and effects, and then there is no different kind of power or the self holding. So you start to untangle it inside your mind. And then now you see how it arises, how it disappears, and then you see the desire, why we clinging to the form. And when you recognize this, all the three things, there is another wisdom come to you. And that wisdom is, it called the dosa. That means if you clinging to any form, and what is the demerits or the unprofitable, how it going to be unprofitable for you, and how it going to be effect for you in a bad way. Why it saying this clinging is not good? Now you can understand that. So just imagine, if you don't see what is how the form arises, And how you can understand, if you cannot see how it arises, how you can understand and recognize clinging to the form is not good. See, that's the thing, that even we don't know sometimes what is the world, and then but we think, oh, holding to world is not good. If you don't know what is the world, how you can understand the other part? So like that in here, when this path of the wisdom, it giving you the wisdom or the knowledge first. What is the rupa, the form, how it arises, how it disappear, what is the meaning of clinging, and why it say that you should not clinging to this. Then you can see. And then once you see that, naturally you start to recognize the path to exit from the form. When the form arises in you, when you experience any kind of thoughts in you, rather than clinging to it, you slowly allow it to disappear itself. How? Because you can see in the very bottom of this life, whatever you say, it is just see. Whatever hear, it is just hearing. Whatever smell, it's just a smell. Whatever feel as taste, it is just a taste. Whatever you feel as sensation, it is just a sensation. Whatever come to your mind as thought, it is just a thought. But what happened? Once you hold that, whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, feel, or thought, once you hold it, and you keep thinking about it and keep going around it and wrapping it, all the thoughts around it, and that is where it become part of your life. So then look at your life back a little bit. See, so far in your life, where that life? So whatever happens there, it happened there, it's gone. And whatever you saw, it's gone. And whatever you heard, that what it heard, it gone. Whatever you smell, ate, it's gone. That's why you every day keep eating. It's keep going. And the feeling that the whatever you felt, it disappeared. And whatever thoughts came to you, it gone. And so what you experience today, remember, it also going to have the same nature. So the thing is, now we just comparing to past and understand and try to understand it. But there is a way, when it happened in this very moment, there's a way that you can see it. And when you are able to come to that point, that is where you gain the real wisdom. So then remember yourself, your ancestors, your forefathers, your grandparents, your grandparents, your grandparents, fathers, your parents, contribute to this human world and try to protect you and gave this life to you and protect this path of wisdom. And they preserve this wisdom for you to gain. Maybe they didn't get it, but still they push you forward. They push you a little bit forward. So then it is your responsibility to experience this truth. Why? Because when you able to experience this truth, you're going to be in your bloodline, you come to the highest level. So then remember yourself. At least try to get very clear understanding, foundation yourself with your mind. And little by little, start to develop this wisdom. And then, as parents, before you leave this world, remember, at least try to contribute to the the next human civilization, next generations, and give this as a gift to your children. Look at, you can give the money, you can give house, you can give the wealth, many things, but it's nothing. But if you're able to give this as a gift, they also will experience the highest in their journey of this life. But to give that, at least you have to see something. So then it is your responsibility, first level, and try to get it. And then whenever you have opportunity, pass it to the next. And then when the day comes for you to leave this world, and you will be happy. Why? Because you have done all your parts. You have done all your duties. You gained it and you gave it to others and you share your wisdom. So I hope this message will resonate with you. And with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. So especially during this time period, we wish support and transfer the merits to your beloved fathers. If they're living with you or far away from you, may they have the good health and the longevity and safety. And at the same time, if they passed away, we transfer the merits to your beloved father. And if they're living in a low existence, may they be able to attain to high existence. If he living in a high existence, may he able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. And by the power of this all meritorious activities, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha amnihi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vaham hotu sabba dukkha panchatu. Bless you.